No, leave it.
Welcome back to Morning Live. It is 8:24. The September flooding of homes in Hamilton showed how quickly a disaster can happen after a rainstorm. And of course, that's been a recurring problem in Hamilton specifically, but it's something that many Canadians have to deal with. John Polidoro and also Pat Consoli join us from Plumbway. Thanks so much for joining us. We've actually seen this in the news before because anybody who is dealing with this problem, they're getting these, the Backwater Valve.
Absolutely.
You guys have been doing a pretty brisk business in the past 5 years.
Past 5 years, we've been installing these. They've become a bigger issue over the last probably year and a half due to the major flooding in the Hamilton area.
Yeah. This is actually manufactured. This is a Canadian product, by the way. It comes from out west, but you guys...
So made out of Edmonton, mainline products, and it's the only product that's approved through insurance industries and the municipalities.
Okay, that was my stomach, by the way. I'm sorry. But this thing, when you get it installed, so it's all sealed up, you see it in the box, but for demonstration purposes, this has some cutaways so we can see what's going on here. So obviously, insurance companies want to minimize their risk. So in fact, many people that are in the high-risk areas, they can't even get insurance unless they have something like this installed.
Absolutely, and that's what they're looking at. Especially people, once you've had a clean, the second time around, they're not as friendly, so they're definitely demanding some sort of protection for your home.
Right.
So this is obviously the best alternative.
Yeah, and of course, depending on where you are, and depending on what kind of zone, but there are, depending on the municipality, there are some incentives as well.
Absolutely. Check with your local municipality or water departments or drain departments, and they will definitely inform you of anything that they can assist you with.
So outside of any insurance breaks or incentives, in terms of, I know it depends on the home and the square footage and other issues, but can you give us a ballpark figure in the installation?
Yeah, an average install cost probably in the $2,000 range. It's a day job. We'd come in the morning, and the job would be completed towards the end of the day.
Yeah, and lots of peace of mind afterwards.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we've got this up and running. So just in terms of how it's a backwater valve, obviously, and this is the trap here.
Yes, exactly. So what happens is, as we that's regular flow. Then as you see, the backup will come up, and then the valve automatically will just shut itself, and that'll prevent any water from entering in your home.
Right. Now, there's certainly a lot of issues with the installation in terms of where it goes in the basement because the water is choosing the path of least resistance. Actually, we're talking about this during the break. Also, another issue, too, if you're in a high-risk area, if your neighbor gets this, it's a good idea for you to get one, too, because if their neighbor's protected, that means you could be targeted by water or sewage looking for the path of least resistance.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happens, sure, because the people will start installing them, and then the people that don't have them in, the water will obviously come back into their basements.
In the high-risk zones, make it a neighborhood thing, which I'm sure you have seen.
Follow suit with your neighbor.
Yeah. So in terms of maintenance issues, I mean, once it's installed, what do we have to worry about? Do you have to check it regularly?
You do have to check it regularly because sometimes with kids flushing stuff down or any sand or old debris,
right?
Definitely, all you want to do is open the clean out, which is on top here, and just make sure that this flap is flowing freely, and you won't have a problem.
Okay. Now,
keep your peace of mind.
The actual unit, when it goes into the home, it's actually in an enclosure, or?
It is.
Yeah.
It will go in, it's generally installed in the front of the house in the basement.
Yeah.
And with accessibly in the ground, and then you have a box which has a lid that's accessible to get to the clean out.
Yeah.
Complementing this should always be, as well as sump pump, help alleviate groundwater buildup around the house. This will protect the sewers, protect any exposed drains. Sump pump will help pump the water away from the house in such cases.
You always want those backup and redundant systems.
Of course.
Yeah. In the Model C, is this clear, though, in terms of you can quickly check that trap door to make sure it's clear?
It will be clear. During heavy rainstorms, it's important to pop the lid, take a look inside the box. Through the lid, you'll be able to see if the valve is in a closed position, you need to minimize the amount of water use within the house.
Okay. Hey, thanks so much, guys. Plumbway.com, there's the website on screen. Lots more information on this. If this is something you need for your home, this is the solution everybody's talking about. Thanks again, guys. All right, quick break. We're back with the news at 8:30 and more Morning Live on the way.